Once upon a time, in a bustling city, there lived an old, wise tomcat named Whiskers and his energetic kitten, Mittens. Whiskers was the protector of the small family of strays, guiding them through the maze of alleyways and streets. Mittens, full of curiosity, idolized his father and dreamed of following in his paw prints. Whiskers knew the city well, the safest hideouts, the best places to find food, and how to avoid danger. Every night he would tell Mittens stories of his adventures when he was younger, from outsmarting alley dogs to sneaking into bakeries for a warm bite to eat. Mittens would listen, eyes wide, filled with awe at the thought of one day being as brave and clever as his father. One evening, as the sun began to set and the streets were bathed in a soft orange glow, Mittens made a bold request. "Dad, can we go exploring tonight? I want to see the city like you do." Whiskers gazed down at his son, his heart filled with pride but also concern. Mittens was young and the city could be dangerous at night. But seeing the excitement in his son's eyes, he couldn't bring himself to say no. "All right, Mittens," he said gently. "But you must stay close to me, and remember the city can be unpredictable." Mittens nodded eagerly, his little tail flicking with excitement. As darkness fell, the two cats set off into the city. Whiskers led the way, leaping gracefully over fences and squeezing through narrow alleys, with Mittens scampering behind, trying his best to keep up. The night was alive with the sounds of the city, the hum of cars, distant voices, and the occasional clatter of trash cans. After a while, they arrived at an old bakery Whiskers used to visit. The air was filled with the sweet scent of freshly baked bread. "Wait here," Whiskers whispered to Mittens. "Watch and learn." With practiced skill, Whiskers sneaked through a small opening and returned moments later with a warm roll of bread. He dropped it in front of Mittens, who looked up in amazement. "Wow, Dad, you're amazing!" Whiskers chuckled softly. "It takes practice, Mittens. One day you'll be able to do the same." They continued their journey, exploring the quiet corners of the city, but as they ventured deeper into unfamiliar territory, Mittens became distracted by a flicker of movement in the distance. A mouse! His instinct took over, and without thinking, he darted after it. "Mittens, wait!" Whiskers called out, but the little kitten was too far gone, chasing the mouse through the alleys. Mittens chased the mouse into a maze of streets he had never seen before. Suddenly the mouse disappeared into a crack in the wall, and Mittens realized he was lost. The buildings around him seemed taller, the shadows darker. His tiny heart began to race. "Dad?" he called out, but there was no response. Panic set in as he tried to retrace his steps, but everything looked the same. The city that had once seemed so exciting now felt overwhelming and frightening. Just as Mittens was about to give up hope, he heard a familiar voice. "Mittens, where are you?" It was Whiskers. Mittens let out a tiny meow, and within moments his father appeared from the shadows, his eyes filled with concern. Mittens rushed to him, burying his face in his father's fur. "I'm sorry, Dad," Mittens sniffled. "I didn't listen and I got lost." Whiskers licked his son's head gently. "It's all right, Mittens. You're safe now, and that's what matters. The city can be a big place, but you don't have to face it alone." They sat together for a moment, the cool night air around them. Whiskers nuzzled his son. "You'll have plenty of time to explore the world, Mittens, but you must remember to be patient. There's always more to learn." Mittens looked up at his father, his eyes shining with gratitude. "I'll stay by your side, Dad, I promise." With that, the two cats began their journey home, side by side under the stars. Mittens, tired but happy, followed close to Whiskers, knowing that no matter how big the world seemed, as long as his father was with him, he would never be lost.